Close your eyes now, my sweet friend. Let your head sink deeper into the pillow. Feel the soft weight of the blanket wrapping around you like a warm cloud, and just breathe with me in slowly through your nose. Hold for a gentle moment and let it drift out even slower. Good again, in and out. That's it. Let every muscle soften from your toes all the way to the tiny space between your eyebrows. Nothing to do. Nowhere to be. Just my voice and the faintest sound of rain beginning to fall outside your window, soft, steady, like a lullaby made of water. Tonight, I'm going to whisper you the entire dream of Spirited Away. Every hidden detail, every scent of wet moss and steaming bathwater, every tremble in little Chihiro's heart, because sometimes the best way to fall asleep is to step into someone else's brave journey and let it carry us gently across the night. We will walk the whole path together, no rush, no skipping. And when we reach the other side, you will already be sleeping so deeply that the morning light will feel like a distant memory. Did you know that Hayao Miyazaki wrote this story while watching his friend's 10-year-old daughter sulk in the back seat of a car, exactly like Chihiro at the very beginning? He said he wanted to make a film that would tell girls like her, "You are already stronger than you think." Isn't that beautiful? Maybe you have felt small and sulky too. Maybe you are allowed. But tonight we will watch that smallness turn into the brightest courage. Feel the rain growing a little heavier now, tapping softly on the roof like tiny fingers asking to come in. Let it wash away every worry you carried into bed. Shh. They're melting. They're gone. Only warmth remains. Only my voice and the gentle rustle of pages as I open this old leather-bound storybook just for you. Imagine we are sitting together in a dim room lit by one paper lantern. The air smells faintly of cedar and distant sea. I turn the first page so slowly that you can hear the paper whisper against paper, and the ink still smells like it was written yesterday. Are you comfortable? Good. Because once upon a time, on a cloudy afternoon that felt like the edge of the world, a little girl named Chihiro was curled in the back seat of her parents' car, clutching a bouquet of flowers that were already starting to wilt. Her father took a wrong turn down an overgrown forest road. The car bounced. Chihiro's heart bounced with it, and when they stepped out, the air was thick with the scent of moss and something ancient, something waiting. Have you ever stepped into a place that felt like it was breathing? Like the trees themselves were watching? They found a dark tunnel, redwood beams worn smooth by centuries of curious feet. Chihiro didn't want to go in. Her sneakers dragged, but her parents laughed and pulled her forward, and the moment they crossed the threshold, a cool wind sighed through the tunnel like a long-held breath finally released. On the other side lay a vast green meadow, and beyond it, strange buildings with curved roofs glowing in the late golden light. The grass smelled sweet and sharp, like crushed mint. Chihiro's stomach fluttered with a feeling she couldn't name. Her parents smelled food, steaming rice cakes, grilled fish, roasted meats piled high on empty stalls with no one to sell them. The greed in their eyes grew shiny. They began to eat like animals, tearing with their teeth, sauce dripping down their chins. Chihiro begged them to stop, but the sun sank. The sky turned blood orange, and when twilight swallowed the last light, her parents, bodies twisted, skin rippled, noses lengthened, they became enormous pigs, grunting and rooting in the dirt. Chihiro screamed. Her voice echoed across the water that had mysteriously appeared, dark and wide as a sea. Lights flickered on across that water, paper lanterns blooming one by one, and the town beyond transformed into a glittering bathhouse for spirits. Ghosts and gods and creatures with too many eyes began to cross the bridge, their feet making no sound. Chihiro ran, her heart hammering like a trapped bird. The ground beneath her turned translucent. She looked down. She was becoming see-through, disappearing because humans don't belong here after dark. A boy appeared shining silver under the moon. "Quiet," he whispered, pressing a finger to her lips. His touch smelled like river water and pine. "If they see you, you'll never leave. Run to the bridge. Don't breathe until you're across." His name, she would later learn, was Haku, and in that moment he was the only solid thing in a world that was dissolving around her. "The rain outside your window is falling softer now, steady, like a heartbeat. Let it match your own, slow, slower. Feel your shoulders melt into the mattress. Feel your thoughts becoming lighter, like dandelion seeds drifting away on that same spirit wind. We're only just beginning, my dear. There is so much wonder waiting, so many friends Chihiro has yet to meet, and every step she takes is a step toward remembering who she really is. Just like every breath you take tonight is a step toward the deepest, sweetest sleep. When you're ready, when your whole body feels heavy and warm, we'll follow her across that bridge together. But for now, just rest here with me, listen to the rain, listen to my voice, and know that you are safe, you are held, you are already drifting. Close your eyes again, deeper this time. Let the rain settle into a gentle hush, like silk brushing over glass, and feel how your chest rises and falls so slowly now that each breath feels like a small wave kissing the shore before it slips back into the sea. Good. Stay there. I'm right here with you. My voice soft as candlelight as we follow little Chihiro running barefoot across the long wooden bridge, her small hands gripping the railing that is still warm from the day's sun. The planks creak ever so slightly under her weight. Creak, creak, like an old house remembering every footstep it has ever carried. She is trying so frightened that her tears taste metallic on her tongue. The spirits gliding past her smell of wet stone and incense. Some have faces like melted wax. Others wear masks of porcelain cracked with gold. One brushes too close and its sleeve feels like spider silk soaked in cold water. Chihiro presses her back against the railing, trying to make herself smaller, trying to disappear completely, but Haku's voice floats behind her, calm and steady. Don't look at them. Keep walking. I'll meet you on the other side. When she finally stumbles off the bridge, her legs give way, and she collapses onto damp grass that smells of clover and something faintly sweet, like steamed chestnuts. Haku kneels beside her, his black hair falling across eyes the color of deep river pools. He places something small and red in her hand, a single onigiri wrapped in bamboo leaf. "Eat this," he whispers. "It will keep you from fading away." The rice is still warm, the seaweed slightly salty, and the moment it touches her tongue, she feels her body become solid again, color returning to her cheeks, weight returning to her bones. She almost cries from relief. Haku tells her the rules of this world in the softest voice, as though sharing a dangerous secret. Humans who don't work disappear by morning. She must ask the boiler man for a job. His name is Kamaji, and whatever happens, she must never let anyone take her name, because a name is the thread that ties you to yourself. Chihiro nods, trembling, but the onigiri has given her just enough courage to stand. Have you ever felt your name was the only thing keeping you real? I have. Sometimes when the night feels too large, I whisper my own name into the dark just to remember I'm still here. Maybe tonight you can feel your name resting gently on your heart. Safe, untouched. No one can take it from you. Together they walk through narrow alleyways lit by floating paper lanterns that bob like fireflies. The air is thick with steam and the smell of sulfur and yuzu. Everywhere Chihiro looks, there are spirits soaking in outdoor baths. A radish spirit as tall as a house sighs with pleasure as hot water cascades over his white belly. Tiny soot sprites scurry carrying coal on their backs, their little feet going pit-pat, pit-pat like raindrops on a tin roof. Every sound is muffled, wrapped in humidity. They reach the bathhouse's boiler room by climbing down an endless wooden staircase that groans under their weight. The walls are black with soot, pipes hiss and clang like sleeping dragons. And there, in the center of it all, sits Kamaji, an old man with 6 long arms moving at once, feeding the boiler, mixing herbs. His beard so long it pools on the floor like spilled ink. His glasses glint in the firelight. He barely looks up when Haku speaks. "She needs work," Kamaji grunts. No vacancies, but the soot sprites have already taken a liking to Chihiro. One climbs onto her shoulder, leaving a tiny black handprint on her pink cardigan. Another offers her a roasted soybean with delicate politeness, and Kamaji softens just a little. He sends her upstairs to face Yubaba herself, the witch who owns every soul in the bathhouse. Chihiro climbs those stairs one by one. Each step feels taller than the last. Her knees knock together, but she remembers the taste of the onigiri, remembers Haku's promise, and she keeps going. The corridor at the top is carpeted in deep red, the color of pomegranate seeds. Gold frog statues guard the doors, and when those doors finally swing open on silent hinges, the room beyond is enormous, pillows the size of boats, a huge desk, and behind it Yubaba, enormous head, tiny body, gemstones glittering on every... "What is a filthy human doing in my bathhouse?" Chihiro bows so low her forehead almost touches the floor. Her voice comes out as the tiniest whisper. "Please, give me work." Yubaba laughs until the chandeliers tremble, then leans forward, eyes narrowing. "Very well, but I will take your name." Golden contract unfurls like a snake. Glowing letters dance across the page. Chihiro signs with a shaking hand, and the moment the ink dries, Yubaba plucks the characters from the paper. Chihiro becomes simply Sen. The name feels torn out of her chest, leaving a hollow ache behind. She is Sen now, and the girl she was feels suddenly far away. Did you know that in real Japanese folklore, giving your true name to a spirit gives them complete power over you? Miyazaki took that ancient fear and wrapped it in the gentlest warning. Never forget who you are, no matter how the world tries to rename you. The rain outside has become the softest murmur now, like someone breathing beside you in bed. Let that sound carry you. Let every word I speak feel like a fingertip tracing slow circles on your back. You are safe, you are drifting, and little Sen is about to begin the hardest night shift that will change everything. The elevator clanks open like an old iron heart sighing, and Sen steps out into the steamy heart of the bathhouse for her very first night of work. The air is so thick with moisture that every breath tastes of minerals and distant flowers, and the wooden floor beneath her bare feet is warm from the pipes running underneath, almost hot in some places, so she has to hop a little from plank to plank like a tiny bird. Lanterns swing overhead, casting golden ripples across the walls that look exactly like sunlight moving underwater. Everywhere she turns there are spirits waiting. Long-necked women with skin like rice paper, frog attendants in crisp green uniforms, a creature that looks like a walking eggplant bowing politely as it passes. Lin finds her first. Lin, the tough, kind slug woman with short silver hair and a voice like warm sake. She smells faintly of soap and cigarette smoke even though no one here smokes. "Come on, kid," she says, draping a rough towel over Sen's shoulders. "You're with me tonight. Keep your head down and your mouth shut, unless someone asks you a direct question." Lin's hand is surprisingly gentle when she squeezes Sen's shoulder, calloused but steady, and Sen feels the first flicker of safety since she crossed the bridge. They are assigned the big tub, the largest bath on the middle floor, the one reserved for the most difficult guests. The water is already murky, swirling with black silt and the smell of 1,000 years of river mud. A stink spirit has arrived. At first it looks like a mountain of rotting sludge wearing a tattered cloak, dripping oily goo that hisses when it touches the floor. Every frog worker runs away gagging. Sen's stomach flips, but Lin just sighs and hands her a bucket and a long rope. "You wanted work, right? Welcome to the glamorous life." The stench is so powerful it has texture, like wet earth and spoiled fish, and something metallic, like old coins left in rain. Sen's eyes water, but she ties the rope around her waist the way Lin shows her and steps into the muck. It sucks at her ankles, warm and slimy, almost alive. She pulls, the other workers pull, and slowly the spirit begins to move. Something hard catches on the rope, a sharp point buried deep inside the filth. Sen reaches in without thinking, her small hand disappearing up to the elbow in blackness, and she feels it. The thorn of an old bicycle, rusted and jagged. She yanks. The spirit roars. A torrent of garbage explodes upward. Bottles, tires, shopping carts, rubber boots, even an entire toilet bowl, all pouring out like the river itself is vomiting centuries of human waste. Then the miracle happens. As the last piece of trash clatters away, the sludge melts into clear, sparkling water. The stink spirit rises taller, cleaner, radiant, its true form a majestic and ancient, a dragon of the river wearing armor made of moonlight on water. It bows to Sen, low and solemn, and golden light pours from its chest, filling the bathhouse with the scent of fresh rain on pine needles. Coins of pure gold rain down, clinking softly into every worker's outstretched apron. The river spirit presses one final gift into Sen's palm, a small, bitter herbal dumpling that glows faintly green. "Eat," it whispers in a voice like rushing water. "It will protect you." Have you ever pulled something ugly out of yourself and discovered something beautiful underneath? Maybe an old anger, a fear, shame, and when it finally left, the space it left behind felt clean and wide and full of light? Tonight, let that memory surface gently, and then let it drift away on the same river. Later, when the bathhouse quiets to a low hum of snoring spirits and dripping faucets, Sen sits alone on the back stairs eating the dumpling. It tastes of earth and medicine, and something impossibly sweet underneath the bitterness. Tears roll down her cheeks, not from sadness this time, but from the overwhelming feeling that she has done something real, something that mattered. Lin sits beside her, lighting a tiny cigarette that smells like cloves. "You did good, kid," she says, exhaling smoke that curls like baby dragons. "Real good." That night, exhausted, Sen curls up on a pile of spare futons in the workers' dormitory. The ceiling above her is cracked and stained, but the blanket smells of soap and sunlight, and for the first time since her parents turned into pigs, she falls into a sleep so deep it feels like sinking through warm water. But dreams come quickly in the spirit world. Sen finds herself standing on a vast silver train running across an endless sea at twilight. The water reflects a sky full of stars that look close enough to touch. Haku is there, but he is wounded, bleeding light from a deep cut across his side. She reaches for him, but the train glides forward, and he fades into mist. She wakes with his name on her lips and the certain knowledge that something terrible is coming. The next morning, No-Face appears. At first, he is only a shadow outside the bathhouse windows, a black silhouette wearing a white mask with hollow eyes. He watches Sen with a hunger that is not for food, but for company. When she smiles at him, just a small, tired smile of kindness, he slips inside like ink poured into water. He has no voice, only soft breathing and the quiet clink of the gold he conjures from nothing. The frog workers go mad for the gold. They stuff their mouths, their pockets, their hats. No-Face grows larger with every offering of food and attention, his body swelling like a storm cloud's, his mask stretching into a horrible grin. Sen is the only one who sees the loneliness pouring out of him like black smoke. She remembers the river spirit, how kindness and hard work cleansed something filthy into something sacred. She backs away slowly, refusing his gold, refusing his food. No-Face howls, a sound like wind screaming through empty houses, and begins to devour everything. Workers, furniture, entire rooms. The bathhouse shakes. Lanterns crash. Lin grabs Sen's hand and they run. Did you know that No-Face was inspired by the way adults sometimes become whatever mask the world hands them, empty inside, swallowing everything to fill the hole? Miyazaki said he drew him after watching salarymen on trains, faces blank, mouths open. Tonight, if you ever feel like you're wearing someone else's mask, let my voice gently lift it away. You don't need it here. Just be the soft, real you underneath. Outside, the sky has turned the color of bruised plums. Sen and Lin and a handful of others flee across the rooftops, tiles slippery with evening dew. No-Face pursues, a towering blackness blotting out the stars. Sen remembers the herbal dumpling still tucked in her pocket, its glow faint but steady. She turns and faces the monster that used to be lonely. "You're not bad," she whispers, holding out the dumpling. "You're just lost." No-Face pauses. For one trembling moment, the mask cracks, revealing something small and frightened inside. Then he opens his mouth impossibly wide and swallows the dumpling whole and begins to shrink until he is only a little shadow again, trembling at Sen's feet. The rain has returned, soft and warm as breath. Let it wash over you now. Let it carry away every leftover tension in your neck, your jaw, your fingertips. You are doing so beautifully. We are almost at the turning point of the story. But there is no hurry, only gentle drifting. The night feels endless now, heavy and sweet like warm honey poured over moonlight, and you can feel it pressing gently against your eyelids, inviting them to stay closed just a little longer. Good. Let my voice be the only light you need. Soft, steady, as we follow Sen across the dark water with No-Face trailing behind her like a lost puppy made of shadow. His breathing soft and wet, almost apologetic. Lin stays behind to calm the other workers, but she presses a small rice ball into Sen's hand before she leaves. For the road, kid, and don't do anything I wouldn't do twice. Sen leads No-Face down endless wooden stairs that spiral deeper than should be possible, each step creaking like old bones until they reach a quiet platform where a little train waits on tracks that disappear into the starlit sea. The train is ancient, paint flaking in soft curls of sky blue and cream, its windows glowing with the warm amber of paper lanterns inside. The seats are empty except for a few translucent spirits, their faces calm and sleepy, some wearing old-fashioned hats, others carrying briefcases that float an inch above their laps. The conductor, Sen and No Face, sit side by side. The train glides forward without a sound, only the softest click-click, click-click, as it crosses the water. The sea below is perfectly still, reflecting an upside-down sky full of constellations you have never seen before. And every time the train passes a tiny station, another spirit gets off, bowing deeply before stepping onto an island of soft grass that wasn't there a moment ago. Each island has a single house, a single light, and the spirit walks toward it as though returning home after 1,000 years. No Face curls smaller and smaller with every stop, until he is only the size of a child, his mask resting in Sen's lap like a sleeping cat. She strokes it gently, feeling the cool porcelain warm under her fingertips, and for the first time he makes a sound that is almost a purr. Have you ever sat on a train at night and felt the world grow quiet enough that you could hear your own heart remembering something beautiful? Maybe a childhood bedroom, a grandparent's laugh, the smell of rain on hot pavement? Let that memory rise now, soft and slow, like a bubble floating up through deep water. And when it reaches the surface, let it pop gently, leaving only calm behind. The final stop is a tiny cottage surrounded by wildflowers that glow faintly silver. An old woman waits on the porch, her hair white as moonlight, her smile exactly like Yubaba's but without the sharpness. This is Zeniba, Yubaba's twin sister, kind where Yubaba is cruel, patient where Yubaba is greedy. She welcomes Sen with arms that smell of fresh bread and lavender, and even No Face is allowed inside, where he immediately curls up beside the hearth like he has always belonged there. Zeniba serves them tea in cups so thin you can see the liquid swirl like galaxies. The tea tastes of chamomile and distant thunder, and something that makes Sen's chest feel wide open. Safe, seen. Zeniba explains everything in the gentlest voice. Haku is actually a river spirit whose river was filled in by human buildings. He forgot his true name because Yubaba controls him with a black worm in his heart. The golden seal Yubaba accused Sen of stealing actually belongs to Zeniba, and the only way to break every spell is for Sen to remember what she has forgotten. While they talk, Zeniba teaches Sen to spin thread from light, the wheel turning slowly, creak, creak, the thread glowing like captured starlight. No Face helps, his shadowy hands surprisingly nimble, and together they weave a hair ribbon of deep purple and silver that shimmers with protection. When Sen ties it into her hair, she feels something click back into place inside her chest, like a puzzle piece she didn't know was missing. Did you know that the hair ribbon Sen wears for the rest of the film was actually hand-animated frame by Miyazaki himself, because he said it had to move like it was alive with love. Love from friends, love from memory, love from courage. Maybe tonight you can imagine a ribbon like that being tied gently around your own heart, keeping every good thing safe while you sleep. Outside, the sky has turned the color of soft peach. Dawn is coming, but it feels far away, gentle, patient. Zeniba sends Sen back on the train with a bento box full of rice and pickled plums and a promise. Love is stronger than any spell, remember that. The return journey is quicker, the train gliding backward through the same twilight sea, but now the water is rose gold, and every spirit who boards smiles at Sen as though they know her. When she steps off at the bathhouse, everything has changed. Haku, in his dragon form, is fighting Yubaba's paper birds, his white scales streaked with blood, wings torn. He crashes into the boiler room, shattering pipes, steam exploding like clouds. Sen runs to him without thinking, pressing her hands to his wounds, whispering the name she suddenly remembers from a dream long ago. Kohaku River. Your name is Kohaku. The moment the true name leaves her lips, the black worm bursts from Haku's chest, writhing. Sen crushes it beneath her foot, and Haku transforms back into the boy she met on the bridge, eyes wide, free, tears falling like silver rain. He takes her face in both hands. You saved me. Thank you. The rain outside your window has almost stopped now. Only the softest drip from the leaves, like the world itself is exhaling one final time before sleep. Let that sound carry you. Let every muscle go loose, heavier, warmer. You are doing so perfectly. We are almost home. The sky above the bathhouse has turned the tenderest shade of rose gold, the color of a baby seashell held up to dawn, and the air no longer carries the sharp bite of night but something softer, almost like warm milk left on the windowsill. Haku, now truly himself again, takes Sen's hand. His fingers are cool and faintly trembling from centuries of lost memory, and together they rise into the sky on his shimmering white dragon body. The wind against Sen's cheeks smells of river moss and distant plum blossoms. Her hair ribbon flutters like a living thing, brushing her neck with tiny kisses of reassurance. Below them, the bathhouse shrinks to the size of a toy, its red roofs glowing like scattered embers, and the great sea of grass waves goodbye in slow silver ripples. They fly for what feels like both forever and no time at all, past clouds that taste faintly of cotton candy when they pass through them, past flocks of tiny paper birds that dissolve into sparkles when the dragon's wings brush them. Sen presses her face against the warm scales between Haku's shoulder blades and feels his heartbeat, steady, ancient, grateful. She whispers, I remembered your name. And he answers without words, only a low, rumbling purr that vibrates through her entire body like the deepest, safest lullaby. They land gently in a quiet meadow, where the grass is knee-high and soft as down. In the center stands Yubaba on her tiny broom, arms crossed, face twisted in fury, but even her anger looks smaller now, almost tired. Beside her, chained with golden threads, are Sen's parents, still pigs, still grunting and snuffling in the dirt, their eyes dull with greed. Yubaba's voice cracks like a whip. If you want them back, little thief, you must pass my final test. Tell me which pigs are your parents. Choose wrong, and you all stay here forever. A long line of pigs is marched forward. Dozens of them, all pink and plump and identical, snorting and blinking in the gentle morning light. Their hooves make soft clopping sounds on the wooden platform that has appeared out of nowhere. Sen's heart thuds so loudly she is sure everyone can hear it. The old Sen would have panicked, cried, begged, but this Sen, the Sen who cleaned a river, who fed a lonely monster, who remembered a dragon's true name, simply closes her eyes for one quiet breath. She remembers the smell of her mother's perfume the day they left home, something floral and faint. She remembers her father humming off key while driving. She remembers how her mother always sneezed twice, never once, and in that memory she feels the truth settle over her like warm water. None of these pigs are her parents anymore. Not because they are pigs, but because the greed has already left them. They are free simply because she has stopped being afraid. "I know," she says, voice small but steady as morning dew. "None of them. My parents are already themselves again." The moment the words leave her lips, the golden chains dissolve into sparkles. Her mother and father stand blinking in the grass, human again, clothes rumpled, confused but unharmed. Her mother's first word is Chihiro, and it sounds like the most beautiful music in the world. Did you know that Miyazaki deliberately never shows us the exact moment the parents turn back into humans? He said the transformation happened inside Chihiro's courage, not in their bodies. The real magic was her refusal to play Yubaba's final game of fear. Maybe tonight you can feel a tiny chain around your own heart loosen and fall away, just because you are here, just because you are listening, just because you are loved exactly as you are. Yubaba shrieks in frustration, but even her shriek is softer now, almost like a sigh. The contract burns to golden ash. Haku bows deeply to Sen, eyes shining with something too big for words. "Go," he whispers. "Live your life. I will find my river again, and when the water runs clear, I'll come visit you in your dreams." Sen wants to cling to him, to stay in this world that has become more real than her own, but she feels the gentle tug of morning pulling her backward. Hand in hand with her parents, she walks toward the tunnel. The grass brushes her ankles like 1,000 tiny goodbyes. She does not look back, Haku told her not to, but she feels him watching until the very last second. The tunnel is cool and dark and smells of earth after rain. When they step out the other side, the car is waiting exactly where they left it, covered in a light dusting of leaves. Her father scratches his head. "Must have dozed off," he laughs. Her mother yawns. Only Chihiro's shoes are caked with red bathhouse mud that no one else seems to notice. She climbs into the back seat. The wilted bouquet is still on the floor, but the flowers have opened again, impossibly fresh. As the car pulls away, Chihiro glances in the side mirror. For one heartbeat, she sees the tunnel mouth glowing faintly, and a white dragon circling high above, sunlight flashing off his scales like a final farewell. Then the road curves, and the forest closes, and the human world folds gently around her again. But something has changed forever. Her hair ribbon still glimmers faintly purple and silver when the light hits it, and sometimes, when rain taps against her bedroom window at night, she hears the distant sound of a train on water, or feels the brush of dragon wings in her dreams, or wakes with the taste of bittersweet herbal dumpling on her tongue, and knows, without doubt, that she is braver than she has ever been. Have you ever come home from an adventure no one else remembers and felt your heart was suddenly too big for your chest? That is how Chihiro feels now, and that is how you can feel tonight. Safe in the knowledge that every scary night eventually becomes a story you survived, and every lost name can be spoken again by someone who loves you. Let the last of the rain fade into silence now. Let your body sink one final inch into the mattress. Let every remaining thought drift away like the paper birds in the sky. You did it. You walked the whole journey with her, and now you may rest. The room around you has grown perfectly quiet now. Only the faintest hush of your own breathing and the soft, slow rhythm of your heart, like a tiny boat rocking on the calmest sea. Everything else has melted away long ago. The rain has stopped. The lantern in our little story room has burned down to the gentlest ember, and all that remains is the warmth that Spirited Away left inside both of us. A warmth that will stay with you through the entire night, keeping watch. Let me hold that warmth for you a little longer. Let me wrap it around your shoulders like the softest blanket. Because even though Chihiro's journey has ended, the feeling it gave us never has to feel how her courage settled into your chest like a small glowing coal. How Haku's river water voice still echoes somewhere behind your eyes. How the scent of yuzu, steam and wet grass and warm onigiri still lingers on the edge of every breath you take. Did you know that when the film premiered in Japan, many grown-ups left the cinema in tears, saying they suddenly remembered being 10 years old and terrified of growing up, and then felt seen for the first time? Miyazaki never explained every detail on purpose. He wanted the story to live inside each person differently. So tonight, wherever the story touched you most, maybe when Sen cried alone on the stairs, or when No Face finally felt accepted, or when Chihiro spoke Haku's true name, let that moment stay open like a quiet window, letting cool, peaceful air drift in and out while you rest. And if, in the middle of the night, you wake for a second and feel a little tug of sadness that the adventure is over, just touch the place where your hair meets your forehead, because that is where Chihiro's ribbon still lives, woven from starlight and friendship and the promise that no darkness lasts forever. It will glow faintly for you, just enough to guide you straight back into the deepest part of sleep. Have you ever noticed that the bravest thing Chihiro ever did was simply keep going, one trembling step after another, even when she was sure she couldn't? That is the same quiet bravery you showed tonight by letting yourself relax completely, by trusting my voice, by walking the whole long path with me. Thank you. Thank you for trusting me with your sleep. I am so proud of how soft and heavy and peaceful you have become. One last gentle trivia before I let you go. Miyazaki has said that every time someone watches Spirited Away and feels a little braver afterward, a tiny part of every polluted river in the world becomes clean again. So somewhere tonight, because you listened, clear water is flowing under the moon and stars, carrying Haku home, carrying all of us home. Now the ember in our lantern has become only the softest red thread, and it is time to let the story close like a beloved book, time to let the cover fall shut with the quietest thump, time to let the very last thought drift out on one long, slow exhale. You are safe. You are held. You are loved beyond measure, and you may sleep now. Deeply, sweetly, all the way until morning light finds you smiling. Good night, my brave friend. Good night.